So the raid community and raid itself is in a pretty interesting place right now. And I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about. Also, the picture on the screen is a meme someone shared on my Discord. I thought was pretty funny, so I figured we'd throw it up. But um, yeah, I was just kind of thinking that in spite of the fun that a lot of us seem to be having right now, because this is funny to me, it's funny, and I'm having a really good time reacting to everything that's going on, and it just you know what I mean. It's inadvertently perhaps, or maybe not in the way that they wanted. They have created a lot of hype. They've created a lot of engagement, and we've speculated for a long time that any press is good press. So maybe that's what they were wanting here, but I don't really know. But I think despite of the fun that's being had right now, seemingly, the game itself, I think, is in a pretty sad place. I think I think the state of the game is sad. And again, whether or not it's intentional, I'm not sure. But basically, where we're at now with Raid Shadow Legends, which, again, in spite of Plarium, is a fun game. It's a fun game. There's a lot of fun to be had in it. There's a lot of great things about it. Obviously, right? We're all still here, but it's just in a real sad place. And they've put the game and they've put us in a place where now every time they announce something, no matter how cool it sounds, no matter how cool we want it to be, we have been conditioned at this point to assume the worst possible, assume the worst things possible about what's coming. And the part of this that I think is sad, I mean, that's sad in and of itself, right? Anytime they announce anything that sounds awesome and cool, they have such a bad history that we immediately go, how are they going to screw it up? That's kind of a bummer in itself. But what's even sadder is that now we're at the point where even our worst ideas of what could happen, even our lowest expectations, they're now surpassing our lowest expectations, which means they're unimaginably bad at what they're doing. We can't even come up with ideas as bad as they're actually coming up with when they implement these things. Nobody saw rare champions and primal shards coming. Nobody saw that coming. um, Nobody saw a 2x primal shard event coming that excludes mythical champions. The whole point of the shard. Nobody saw that coming. That's unbelievably bad. That's unimaginably bad. And it's aside from how funny it is, it's really a shame. It's really a shame that they're. Part of me wants to say it's a shame they're struggling this bad, but part of me also just refuses to believe that after 4 years in this industry, which they've been in the industry longer, after four plus years of developing this game on the live end, right? It had to be getting some development on the back end before we ever knew it existed as well. So we'll say at least 4 years of development, 4 years of community engagement. Anyway, they still haven't figured it out. They still don't know how to drop an update that's going to be overwhelmingly positively received. It's part of that's unbelievable to me that you could maintain a level of success that they have and just be so totally clueless. It's got to be a play. It's got to be a play. Now, maybe this is one of those things that they've dropped like this. They're going to give it a week or two and then take our feedback and implement what they actually were going to implement anyway. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But there's nothing in me that's able to make myself believe that they got this update ready and got all these things put together and were like, all right, let's push it out. They're going to love this. There's nothing in me that believes that was the case. So you've either got a developer that just refuses to try to make the players happy genuinely, or you've got a developer that is completely clueless on how to do so. And both of those things are sad because, yeah, it's just a mobile game, and you could, you know what I mean? You could write it off and shrug it off and, you know, look down on anybody who takes it seriously or is invested heavily in it and cares a lot about it. But everybody's got different stories. Everybody's got different reasons for feeling however they feel about the things that they feel the way that they feel about. Does that make sense? And to a lot of people, this game means a lot to them for different reasons. There's a sentimental attachment to me to this game to a degree. It's not going to break my heart when the day comes that I stop playing it, I don't think. But um, it's where I kind of cut my teeth as a content creator. It's where I found my success and was able to go full time and learn all the things that I've learned and have been able to branch out in the different directions I've been able to branch out in. I learned a lot about this, and I've made I talked about this in the Hot Ones video I did with Darth, but like our friendship, I'm really close with Darth at this point. Would have never met him. Wouldn't probably know he existed if I didn't play Raid. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. I've made some other really cool friends through Raid. I've had some really cool experiences. There's a lot of reasons that don't really have much to do with the game, even that I like the game, and that's just me. There might be some people who, I don't know, maybe their life's kind of a bummer, and they come home and they get on Raid, and that's the only time in the day they get to have fun and they get to disconnect from whatever else is going on. There's endless reasons that someone could care about this game. So I'm not judging anyone for how much they care about the game. And some of you, again, you could just shrug it off and it's not that big of a deal. But it's a shame that there's people that feel so attached to it. And you've got a developer that just has zero respect for that. You've got a developer that is tunnel visioned on money and nothing else. And I try to say this every time in a video that I talk about any developer making money. I want them to make money. I'm not opposed to them trying to make money. I think they should try to make money. That's the point of making a game overall, for the most part. But you've got to care a little bit. You've got to at least create the illusion that you care a little bit about how good your game is and how much you actually appreciate your players. Look at our anniversary events that we've gotten. I make jokes that the 3rd anniversary was pictures of cake, and the 4th anniversary was fours plastered all over the game. But like, really, tell me something significant you remember about the 3rd and 4th anniversary event. Something that was given to us, or something that a fun event that they did, or anything that you remember that was significant that was positive. I remember the Void legendary versions of the starters being created, which conceptually is not a terrible idea, but I mean, you look at the implementation, terrible. Just aggressively guerrilla style monetized, like, and that's everything they do. It's always bad. And the player base is in a spot where we hear an update and we can't even go, oh man, this is going to be great. Mythical Champions is such a cool idea. A new rarity. The game's 4 years old. We're all set in our ways. Legendary champs are the bee's knees. And now we've got Mythical Champions. Holy shit. You know they're going to look badass. They seem to be pretty well built. We've talked about this a little bit too. They don't break the game, but they're going to be really cool to have. You'll definitely feel the impact that they have on your account, what you're able to do. But the game doesn't seem like it's going to become all about Mythical Champions. Seems like it was, in that sense, they did a really good job of balancing it and making it cool and making it interesting. And we can't even get really excited about that because the implementation, again, far exceeded our expectations in the wrong direction. I don't think anyone could have imagined that it was going to be this piss poor. I don't think anyone was ready for this. We've had I'll give them a pass on the first year. We've had 3 years of practice of predicting how bad something they do is going to be. And they blew us away on this one. We were not ready. We were not ready for this. Which is impressive. I mean, in some ways that deserves some credit. It's just the comments on my videos are overwhelmingly echo this sentiment. I get an unbelievable amount of comments of people saying, I quit this game 2 years ago. I still like your videos. And I've heard other people say this. I still watch your videos just to see what's going on. So glad that I quit playing this game. Or anytime. Usually, I think 2 years is the most. 2 years. 2 years. People have quit the game and still hang around to watch the show. You know what I mean? Of how bad can Raid get? How bad can Plarium get? Tons of comments about people quitting. You've got content creators, you know, quitting slash taking substantial breaks at this point because it's just getting exhausting on all ends. You know, we talked about Mac Chan, who's at the top end of the spectrum of the raid player, who's burnt out and tired of it, and he's got some very valid reasons for feeling the way he feels. You've got me on the other end of the spectrum where I'm free to play and I needed a break for a little bit. So it seems like it seems like there's no escaping it. Seems like just being a raid player, it takes its toll on you. And it's again because everything's a sacrifice, everything's a grind, everything's a potential mistake or a potential regret. Damn, I should have held on to those shards. I shouldn't have summoned on that 2x because now there's a guaranteed. I shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Everything is a hoarding. You better wait. You know, I think there's a reason Wait Shadow Legends resonated. That video, a lot of people consider my best video. I think there's a reason that resonated so heavily, and it's because that's really what the game is. Hold on to everything you get because you're going to regret it. One way or another, you're going to regret it if you use it. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's like the more you try to engage with this game, the more of a bummer it is to play. And I think that really sums it up. I think the more casually you play this game, the more fun it is. Which is not the goal. Shouldn't be the goal. Shouldn't be the goal. The more engaged you get with a game and enjoy it, the more likely you are to spend. And that's another one of those things that is unbelievable to me that Plarium doesn't understand. I don't believe they don't understand that. So what are they doing? They must be making a lot of money. And that's another defending point that they like 7 or 8 people in the community that still defend everything they do use is, well, they're making money, so you can't tell them what they do is wrong. Well, yeah, they might be bringing in a lot of money, but I would be very interested to see what their actual profit is, because I'm fairly convinced that their advertising budget is 7 figures a month. I think they're spending at least $1 million a month advertising. So when you think about how much money they're putting out versus how much they're bringing in, versus something like Summoner's War, who does very little advertising. I don't see very many Summoner's War ads. They just make money pretty much. A lot of these other developers, I see a little bit of advertising here and there, but nobody advertises like Raid. Nobody advertises like Raid. And $1 million a month might sound unbelievable to you, but you think about all these big channels, all these big millions and millions of subscriber channels that you see Raid ads on a very regular basis. I know what I get paid for sponsorships with my little bitty 22,000 subscriber channel, and it's more than a lot of you would believe. And I'm really good friends with somebody who has about 260,000 subscribers now, and I know what he gets paid for his sponsors. So if that continues to scale up the way that it scales up, what do you think JonTron's making with his 6 or 7 million subscribers? What do you think all these other channels? When you start to think about the amount of money that they're shelling out to individual creators for ad reads, and then you think, no matter what genre of YouTube you watch, no matter where you go, someone's doing a raid ad. I watch Jay Aubrey; he does raid ads. A lot of the commentary channels do raid ads. You can't get away from it. It's everywhere on countless millions and millions of subscriber channels. It's not that hard to believe they're spending over $1 million a month in advertising, and that's just YouTubers. That doesn't count their ads, their native ads on websites and other places you can advertise. That's just YouTuber advertising. So they're spending a lot of money. They're making a lot of money too, but they're spending a lot also. So they might not be profiting as much as a lot of you think they are. So it might not be as good of an argument as some of you think it is. Like, sure, obviously they're successful, but a lot of it's bought and paid for. This game would not be this popular if they didn't advertise the way they did. So I don't know. It's just it's kind of a shame. It's fun. It's entertaining. And maybe that's enough. But I think it's aggravating for so many of us because the potential, the unmet potential in this game, everybody can see it. I think everybody that plays this game for any amount of time can see it. This game has a lot of potential to genuinely be the absolute best gacha game on the market. The elements are all here. It's still graphically top of the line. It's got a lot of depth. It's got a lot of things to do. if they change their approach to the way that they treat the players and the way that they implement things, and if they adjust the culture of the game just a little bit to where everything is not a sacrifice, everything is not a grind, everything is not a horde fest, everything is not a potential regret, everything isn't a beat you down, you missed out on this. It's not you grinded your ass off for this fusion only to be booted out by the summon rush or the champ chase, like every time. Because this time we decided it's 3,500 points instead of 3,000 points, and you don't have the shards. Like, if they would stop all that and just focus a little bit more on making this game fun and not so much of a brutal grind horde session, I think that would help a lot. Make your players feel just a little bit more appreciated. Like, thanks for getting us to 4 years. Here's a 4. That's wild, bro. Summoners War's 9th anniversary went on for like 3 months, and it was just non-stop events and free gifts and exclusive skins from events that were easy to finish, um, or cosmetics for your island or whatever it was. Um, they do collabs with other games. They did like the Street Fighter collab, and Ken was a Nat 5. You can get him for free from one of the events. They did an Assassin's Creed event, collab, and Ezio. Is it Ezio or Altair? One of them was a light dark Nat 5, which is like a void legendary. He was available for free from the event, just for basically showing up every day. Right, making it fun to show up, giving you something to obtain that's not going to break the bank or make you sit in the game for 9 hours a day. Fun, appreciated, and they're creeping up on their 10-year anniversary now, and they're still doing well, and they don't really do much advertising that I've ever seen. And that's just one example. There's a lot of other examples. So it can be done. It can be done. I don't know if they think the game's going to die if they start appreciating their players a little more, but it's just a bummer. The game is not in a good place. The game and the developer and the community are not swirling around in harmony right now. It's in a very, very bad place. And the fact that we can't even sarcastically overshoot how bad something's going to be does not bode well for future updates and future content and player retention, and you know what I mean? It's all bad. So it's all bad. It's all bad right now. So anyway, that's just a quick, I don't know. I thought it would be interesting to talk about with you guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. How do you feel? Do you disagree? Do you think the game's fine? How do you feel about the Primal Shard thing? I don't know. I'm interested in the feedback on this one. So I will be in these comments. All right. Let me know what you think. And, I don't care. Be nice or don't be nice. I don't care. I don't care. Later, guys.